Welcome back to the Thrive360 Podcast. My name is Mitch McKinney. I'm the founder of Thrive360 Ministries, which is a ministry dedicated and focused to helping people lead healthy and finish well. Before we jump in, as always, want to encourage you to like and subscribe to our channel via YouTube or whatever platform you're tuning into today. I'm excited because we have our friend back, Covyn Montemayor. Covyn, welcome back.
Excited to be here.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
Good. So our last conversation was primarily focused on leader health. And one of the things we talk a lot about at the retreats is self-awareness. And we do a lot of work with the Enneagram. And I'm excited to have you back because I have given you the title of Thrive360 Enneagram Guru. You are our guru on our team. And so I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you. I got a lot of questions.
Sweet.
Are
the
you
Enneagram
ready?
is something I could talk about all day.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Okay. Well, let's kind of start from the beginning with Enneagram. So
Okay.
For people who have never even heard of Enneagram, can you kind of give us a big picture kind of overview of what it is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the Enneagram is a personality assessment and awareness tool based on 9 different aspects of identity or essence. And so as believers, like we would frame that within 9 different aspects of God
Right.
and God's character. And so one really amazing thing about the Enneagram is to be aware of course, 9 different aspects of God's character, but as it relates to different people and how we embody that characteristic of God.
And so we, from our understanding, is that we have all of that in us.
Absolutely.
All 9. Which is cool, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. We have access to all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
We might not necessarily have that tendency towards engaging all of it.
We're getting too far down the road here, Covyn. We're getting too advanced. So thank you for the overview. Tell me about your journey with Enneagram. Like, how long have you been studying this? How did you get started with it?
Yeah, I've been familiar with the Enneagram for probably 6 or maybe 7 years. Curiosity brought me to the Enneagram. Trying to gain awareness of course, myself, but then also people around me that were confusing to me and trying to understand maybe their tendencies.
That's how you got into it?
Yes.
You're like, I'm having a hard time understanding people. I need to figure out this.
Yes.
And so Enneagram is my tool?
Yes, I need to categorize people, which now I would say never do that. But at the time I was like, you are this, and I know how to talk to you now.
Right.
Yeah.
So this has been a journey of discovery for you.
Absolutely.
How long have you been on the journey? How long have you been at it, studying?
I mean, it seems like it is ever continuing, which is one thing I really love about the Enneagram as a tool is you can get out of it what you want. And so at different times, I wanted different things from the tool. And if you use the tool, you can definitely get it. So for example, when I first got into the Enneagram, it was an awareness of myself, and then it was an awareness of a few people in my life. And then it became a tool to figure out, how do I communicate well? How do I need to change the way I'm communicating because it's not working, and what needs to happen? And it dynamically shifted a couple of relationships in my life. And so then I was pretty bought into it. I was like, okay, there's actually merit to this tool. And just grown from there.
It is definitely a multi-tool. And depending on how much you want to get into it, is definitely on you. But from my experience, like I've been familiar with it and have been studying it, got certified in it to some degree, and it was like, man, I feel like I still, even after all that, I still feel like I'm just like a novice in terms of understanding and application, right? You talked about how this has kind of had an impact on you from a communication standpoint. Like, are there other ways that the Enneagram, your understanding of it, has it impacted your life in other ways other than just communication? Yeah,
I mean, there's definitely spiritual under and overtones with the Enneagram. And so it has broadened my awareness of God. It has broadened my awareness of the goodness of people at their root. I'm a Enneagram type 5. And so when we are struggling with a certain degree of stress or unhealthiness.
So tell us a little bit about Enneagram type 5. What is the type?
Yes. So I call them the geniuses of the Enneagram.
You call them the geniuses?
Yeah. I think the technical name is observer, but Geniuses work really well. No, I'm just joking. So we're the observers. We like to observe life. We like to observe the world and break things down into understanding. And when there's a certain degree of stress or cynicism, we can start to just separate and be like, all right, I'm checked out of this.
Yeah.
And so as that type with those tendencies, the Enneagram has helped me to be aware of that and just kind of monitor, okay, I'm drifting a little bit, to use the Thrive term, and I need to kind of come back to center and come back to community.
Yeah. Shout out type 5s, geniuses.
Geniuses.
Redefined by Covyn.
Yeah, the Thrive guru.
So it's definitely made an impact on you. How have you seen people who are doing work in the Enneagram, how have you seen that have an impact on them in their lives? Yeah,
I think it's so easy for us to have blind spots in our life. And so we use the word awareness a lot, but we need specific awareness towards our blind spots, right? Gaining a further terminology or awareness around things we already know is just building our ego. It's like, oh, wow, I'm so great at this and that.
Yeah.
We really need that information to fill in the space of what's missing. And so with the Enneagram, it can be a harsh awakening to some realities that we don't necessarily want to acknowledge. And so I'd say for the people that I've worked with the Enneagram, it's been both bitter and sweet in the gaining awareness around those blind spots.
Do you have any stories of people that have had some breakthrough or grown in their understanding to a point where that's been like life-changing to them?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Thrive, we use the WEPS system of the Enneagram and specifically the WEPS test. And so one of the things I really like about the WEPS test is that it actually gives you your primary type, but it's going to give you a graph of all of your types and where you score in them. And so if we're talking about an awareness tool, this is a fantastic way to view how healthy you are within each of those 9 different types. And so, yeah, I might have that tendency towards being a high 5, but what's my second number? Or what's my lowest score? So which number am I lowest in? And so when people have used that, it helps them really realize, okay, this is missing right now. And I need to put some attention to that. So to put it in different terms, because it's kind of hard when we don't have the visuals of it to talk about the WEPS test. So my primary type is 5, and my lowest type consistently is a type 7. And so if anyone doesn't know, the joyful person is my lowest score on every Enneagram test I've taken. And so it certainly made me aware of just, all right, where do I need to start bringing joy back into it?
I would have never guessed that in a million years.
That's good. But sadly, that is my lowest score.
Wow.
So we can use that data to kind of ask ourselves some hard questions. And so like engaging that process a little bit.
Usually we're just going to focus on our strengths or the good. But to focus on where there's deficient, where we are deficient or where we're lacking can help us, because again, to your point, it's a great tool when it comes to growing in self-awareness, not just of our strengths, but maybe where our weaknesses are. And maybe we can't make a lot of impact on how that changes, but growing in awareness can make all the difference in the world.
Absolutely. And the truth is, we don't know what we don't know. So
that is true,
Covyn. Right. So how do we start to gain awareness around what we don't know about ourselves? Well, we start looking at tools to help shine some light onto those things.
Yeah, that's really good. So if somebody is interested, if they don't know anything about Enneagram and they want to find out what their type is, you would encourage them to go to the WEPS website.
I would.
Which we'll put in the show notes so that you guys have that resource. But yeah, it's what we got certified in. It's powerful. I feel like it's very thorough, and it has gives good perspective.
Yes.
So we've talked a lot about the good with the Enneagram, and there is. Are there any cautions that you would have for people as they're doing the work or getting more involved, learning more about Enneagram? Are there any cautions you'd have for people?
I would caution the over-identification with one type. So you are going to score as your primary type, and that's fine. But you don't want to put all of your attention and energy there because there's probably a lot of good insight that you can gain from looking at what your lowest type is, or looking at what type you're scoring unhealthy in. So I might be a primary type 5. I might be a really healthy 5, but I'm a really unhealthy 3.
Yeah.
So I can start looking at, okay, how can I get healthier in this type?
Right.
But if I'm only focusing on my primary type and ignoring the rest,
Right.
I'm missing those characteristics of God and of the entirety of humanity that I can kind of develop and work on in myself.
Yeah, that's good. At the retreats, we talk about Enneagram, like the types, kind of like from a baseball team. Like we have all 9 players, and sometimes it's like we have players on the bench. Why are they on the bench? Like they need to get in the game as well. Maybe they don't play a prominent role, but they still need to be in the game and on the field. And to your point, I think there are times when it's like we kind of justify or rationalize behavior because it's like, oh, I'm a 7 and I'm a joyful person, which means I don't have to this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, that's just part of your type, but there's other players that need to be involved. So that's good. Any other cautions you have?
I wouldn't do the work alone. The Enneagram is such a powerful tool and such an impactful tool, and it shines a lot of awareness, and sometimes that awareness is really harsh. Yeah. And so having the accountability of someone who knows you well and potentially someone who also knows the Enneagram well to kind of partner with you in that, it's going to help you and protect you from maybe taking on too much or also just completely, oh, that's not me, right? It might be you. It might need someone say, hey, this is you in these scenarios. But it also might be, oh no, what if this is me? And a good friend will be like, hey, no, that's not you.
Like with anything, we can use it for good or use it for bad. Have you ever seen someone use the Enneagram and their type as kind of like, have you seen them use it to weaponize
Absolutely.
themselves, people, whatever?
Mostly people, right? It's like, well, they're just a 2. They can't help it.
Yeah.
Or they're just an 8.
Which is what I am.
You're right.
The loving person.
The loving, helping,
the
kind.
Helper.
Yes.
Covyn. Yes. There's part of it where it's like we just start to stereotype people and say, well, you're just that. So whatever, da, 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 da. And it's like, no. Again, that's prominent in my personality, but that's not just me. Right.
And we're also, when we speak in those terms, we're kind of holding you to one place, right? And we're not really giving you any space to grow beyond that, right? That might have been something you were doing or something where you were at one time, but we should be viewing people within growth potential.
Heck yeah. Good stuff, Covyn. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing with us. Would you come back again? Would you do future episodes with us?
I would.
Awesome. Will you be joyful next time?
I'll really work on it. I'll work on my joy.
Thank you. Seriously, thank you again. Grateful to have this conversation. This conversation started here, but it's not going to end here. We're going to continue that conversation moving forward when it comes to leader health. And so I want to encourage you and invite you to continue joining us on this journey. Please like and subscribe this on YouTube or whatever platform that you're viewing this on. Also, I want to invite you to take advantage of a free resource that we provide. We have a monthly check-in that we send out focused on leader health. It's free to you. All you have to do is go to our website at Thrive360.com. All words, no letters, Thrive360.com. Click on sign up, and then we'll get you in the pipeline there, and we'll start sending those resources to you. Okay? Thanks again, Covyn. God bless you all. We'll see you next time.